They need to have the replay. So we are recording, folks. Excited to have you on here. Today is day number 2. And I am really excited about this because number 1, I have had now, I think it's 6 or 7 of the people who came to day number 1 tell me that they already boosted a post and they're already getting followers. So I'm very happy because guess what? That shows me that you folks are actually taking what we're teaching and implementing it. Now, if you're jumping on here, whether you're watching the live or the replay, actually, and I need to admit more people in here. If you haven't watched day number 1, make sure you go do. We did post it in the school community. So if you haven't watched day number 1, you can obviously watch this and be on the live here today, but make sure you do go back and watch day number 1 because the days build on each other. Yesterday, basically, we learned how to teach you how to get these strangers from social media to follow you. And how many of you actually that are on the live here have boosted so far? I think, Michelle, you have. Natasha, I think you have as well. Jeff, let me know in the comments. Actually, yeah, put it in the chat down below if you have boosted. Comment boost down below if you have already made your boosted post. And basically, we're following this step by step. Natasha has. Love to hear it. Jeff has as well. Love to hear it. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be teaching you how do you now warm these people up? Because great, you got a new follower. But a new follower does not equate into money. And I'm going to share with you a quick story at the beginning of here to really drive this point home, okay? Because I had a client actually that he had 150,000 followers, okay? I had this one client and he was just so many followers. He was making $2,000 a month, okay? And that's something that I don't want for you folks, okay? I don't want you to have lots and lots of followers, but no clients. That's not going to be helpful for you. So what I'm going to be teaching you folks here today is great. We're getting followers coming in. Now let's go ahead and learn how to warm them up, okay? So if that's fair, are you folks ready to dive in for today? Comment down below yes if you are. Natasha has, Michelle has, awesome. Comment down below if you're ready to dive in with me here today. And we'll dive into the training today. And I'm going to be sharing a document with you folks like I did yesterday. Here, I'm going to grab the document and I'm going to throw it into the chat here. This is going to be part of what I'm going to be teaching you today, but you can download this document. It's basically sharing with you how to have conversations with people so that they do become clients of yours, okay? And so I'm going to be walking you through this step by step. Now, we're going to be going through a couple different things today, and I have my whiteboard here. It's a little bit, the glare is a little bit bad, so I might move it over here. But we're going to be going through 2 things. We're going to be going through content and conversations. Because, and actually, everyone comment that down below, content and conversations. Oh, you need access? Oh, here, let me make it so that you folks... anyone with the link, there we go. I just updated it. You should all have access to it now. So basically, when you think about it, when someone becomes a follower of yours, there's only 2 ways to get them warmed up and getting to know you better. One is through content that you post, and one is through conversations. Okay, those are the only 2 ways, right? On social media, there's legitimately no other ways that you can go ahead and get these people warmed up. So we're going to be talking about those things here today. And I'm going to go really in depth on the conversation piece. And I'm going to give just a bit of a brief overview on the content because the content piece could take literally a 3 to 4 hour training. So we don't have time for that today, apparently. And so we're just going to be going through this in a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through just content pillars so you do understand what's the content you should be posting so that these followers are actually going to become warmed up. Now, someone actually asked me a question yesterday in the DMs, which is really important. They're like, hey, should I put Instagram stories up? And my answer was, absolutely. For most of you, when someone comes and follows you, they're going to be looking at your Instagram stories. So Instagram stories are just something you should do every single day. I often recommend to our clients 2 to 3 posts on your Instagram stories every single day, just because the new followers are going to come and watch your stories instantly. So make sure you're posting on Instagram stories. But I'll kind of walk you through this briefly here. And I know this is not very nicely set up, so I'm going to kind of move this a little bit here. But basically, when it comes to content, you guys can focus on these 3 different areas. So we want people to basically grow in their know, like, and trust of us, actually, okay? So comment down below KTL, okay? KTL stands for know, like, and trust, okay? So know, like, and trust is what you want to be growing with your content. So basically, when you think about your weekly content schedule, we want to be thinking about people getting to know you better. So that's storytelling content. So you sharing your story, sharing about like your rock bottom moments, your eureka moment when things changed, hard things you've gone through, when you got results, whatever. And storytelling content. Then we want content that gets people to like us. Guess how you get people to like you? You create stuff that's free for them and you give them stuff. So you give them free value. And then how do you get people to trust you? You show proof, right? That's a big thing. So you need to be showing proof with your content. So when it comes to content, again, we're not going to go crazy in depth today on content, but you need to be doing those 3 types of content every single day, okay? So no, not every single day, sorry, every single week, okay? And so make sure that if you're in your content kind of creation time, you are doing those 3 types of content every single week. Know, like, and trust, okay? Any questions so far, okay? I wanted to just go through this, then we're gonna go through actually the meat and potatoes of today's training. And I'm really excited about this because some of you have already been getting followers. And guess what? I'm gonna be showing you how to warm these people up, okay? So any questions on the content side of things before we move into conversations? We got no questions. By the way, if you're watching the replay, it's probably on in the school group or on YouTube. You can comment down below your questions. We'll get them all answered. So here's what's happening. If you watch day 1, you implemented day 1, you're getting new followers. Fantastic. Now you need to actually build a connection with these people. Your content's going to be doing its work, but you actually need to have a conversation with someone. Okay, let me actually walk you through a little bit of, and we don't do this as much because we shop more online these days, but when you used to shop more like in person at malls for clothing and stuff, what would people ask you when you entered a store? What can I help you with today? Or what are you looking for today? You would have these different people who worked at these clothing stores go and ask you questions and get to know what you're looking for. And guess what? I think the statistic is something like the stores that did that had 50% more sales on average than the stores that didn't have reps doing that, okay? So what we need to do in an online version of this is we need to actually get people interested and connecting with you, okay? So here's the thing. You need to be superhuman on social media. In the day and age, how many of you are seeing like AI stuff everywhere and you're like, oh, that's AI or that's AI or that's a bot or that's a bot. Like you know when it's not a real human, right? And guess what? AI has its place. I'm not like, we actually use AI in certain parts of our business, 100%, but people want to connect with people. And so when your followers are starting to follow you, guess what we are going to do? We are going to reach out to them to connect with them as a human being. Because here's the truth. People are more likely to buy from the person they feel the most connected to. So, for example, if they're thinking about purchasing from either you or one of your competitors, they're going to actually buy from the person who they feel the most connected to. That's just human psychology. And so we need to get to basically connection with them first. Now, here's what I want you to do. With these new followers, we actually have a process to turn these new followers into hot leads. Now, how do we do that? We need to give them value that basically gets them to raise their hand and say, yes, I need that. So for most of you, here's something that's really important. For the people that made a boosted post so far, you put on the writing, you put on something to the effect of like, these are your goals and these are your struggles, okay? Now, here's what I want you folks to do. You are going to create something valuable for your ideal clients. So for example, let's get someone to comment down below. Those of you who made a boosted post, what was the like symptom or diagnosis thing that you put in the boosted post? Like, was it like, and I think I saw a couple of yours, but what is like the goals you're helping people achieve or the struggles you're helping them overcome? Comment it down below because I want to give a very clear example on this, okay? So who wants to go ahead? Back pain, Jeff, this is a great one, back pain. Okay, so Jeff, for you, here's what I want, and this I put it here. It's pretty hard to read this today, but I want you to understand. We need to now provide these people what we call congruent value, meaning if they followed you because they saw certain words on your boosted post. For Jeff, let's say back pain. They saw, hey, guys in their 40s and 50s dealing with back pain. Da, 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 da. If they followed you, guess what we want to do? We want to reach out to those new followers. We want to say, hey, thank you so much for the follow. My name's Jeff. Really excited to make your acquaintance. I put together basically a guide or a quick video that's helping a lot of our followers like basically heal their back pain or get rid of their back pain and become their strongest version of themselves ever. Would you like it if I sent it over your way? Great. Guess what? This is what we call a new follower message. This is an inherent strategy in what we teach a lot of our clients. You are sending messages to these new followers, offering something free that is exactly related, congruent, I like to say, with your boosted post. So for Michelle, says lose weight in a sustainable way. Great. Michelle, come up with a guide, the sustainable weight loss guide for rural women, right? That's your niche. Then guess what? When you get these new followers, it can be like, hey, thank you so much for the follow. My name is Michelle. I'm a rural person as well. I created this sustainable weight loss guide for rural women. Would you like it if I send it over your way? And guess what? Because they followed you under a certain guise of like, this is what you're going to help people with, these people will also want your free value. That's how it works, right? And this is actually something that a lot of people don't get. And this has worked so incredibly well for our clients. I think, and I was showing you, and I'll show you folks again here today. I'll show you another example. So one of our other clients that we're working with right now, her name is Neela. And if you've been around, you've maybe seen our case study with Neela. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So here we go. So this is Neela. Hopefully you folks can see it. So she uses the boosted post strategy we talked about yesterday. She's growing her audience from just starting to 7,000 followers. She does on average about $20,000 to $30,000 a month, okay? And basically, guess what? She helps women with their IBS and bloating without elimination diets, right? That's what she does. Now, her boosted post is exactly around that. POV, if you're a woman who wants to do this and this, like IBS and bloating, Guess what happens? When people follow her, she sends them a message. Hey, I'm Neela. Thank you so much for the follow. I'm actually giving away my free guide on like how to basically get rid of IBS and bloating without having to do elimination diets to all of my new followers. Would you like it? And guess what? People are saying yes. And why are they saying yes? Because they're already the people who want this stuff. It's not rocket science, but it is getting really good at strategy. Okay, is this making sense so far? Okay, I'm gonna put a pause. Comment down below yes if this makes sense so far. I don't want to be losing anyone so far. So comment down below yes, this does make sense. Okay, great. Because here's what this does. Right off the bat, you're getting these new followers who are, guess what? We're targeting them specifically. So they're ideal clients, okay? These are people who are literally looking to achieve the results, get over the struggles that you talked about in your boosted post, right? We're getting very crystal clear specific people. Then we're reaching out to them. We're doing this human-to-human connection, and we're offering them something free, something valuable. And guess what? You're going to get a lot of people saying yes. As a bit of a kind of marker, and you guys can write this down, but we want at least 20 to 30% of people, new followers that you're sending a message to respond to you, okay? That's where we want to be at. If it's higher, amazing. If it's lower than that, we need to do some work on doing a better message, okay? That's what we want to do. So like, let's say, for example, like a lot of our clients are getting like 200 followers a week, let's say. A lot of them will get like 70 conversations that week that will turn into like maybe 50, 60 people grabbing a freebie. Then those people, there'll be about like 6 to 8 people that jump on a sales call, 2 to 3 people that buy like a $2,000 to $3,000 offer. That's a $20,000 per month business, okay? So those are some of the ratios. So what I'm walking you through here today, and for those of you who didn't get it, I'm gonna share this again. I'm gonna go ahead and share this document on, I'm gonna make sure that, I'm gonna get the link for you folks, copy the link. This is what I'm going to be walking you folks through today, is how to have a conversation with someone. So you start with value. And the reason we start with value is we want people to like us, but we also want people to respond, right? If you're just going in, basically, here's a bit of a funny analogy. When you're having conversations with someone, you're going to be on one end of the spectrum. Actually, these ends of the spectrum you don't want to be on. The friend zone or the cold pitcher, okay? The friend zone is you're too friendly in Messenger and you're never getting them on a call. That happens to a lot of people. The other end is that we just pitch people a call without knowing if they actually want it. We want to avoid both of those pitches. We want to end up in the middle, which is what I'm going to be teaching you here today. So we start by giving them value. Then what we want to do, and I'm going to share my screen now and kind of walk you through this little document that we got here today, is you want to walk through this framework. You want to walk through this framework of rapport building, discovery, providing more value, commitment, and offering a call. What we're going to be doing in a conversation is we offer the value piece up front. Great. What we can do then is when they actually take the value piece, we can build a little bit of rapport. By the way, like how's your day going? What are like are you based in the States? Where are you based out of? You can have a little bit of small talk. We can kind of build rapport. It's kind of like if you're in a Starbucks line or something like that, you wouldn't just like dive straight into like, well, this is what I have to sell you. You build some rapport with people and get to know them a little bit. Then you want to dive into their goals and their struggles and all the kind of stuff that they're working through. Because frankly, if they don't have goals or struggles, guess what? You're not going to be able to sell them. People that don't have goals, that aren't struggling with stuff, they ain't buying your coaching, okay? Then usually we want to provide maybe even a little bit more value piece. We want to test their commitment level. Are they at a place where they're looking to get some support? And then we want to offer some type of discovery call. So you're going to be using this framework here today. I'm going to stop this to get these new followers to be warmed up and to get on a call with you, okay? So here's what I'm going to give you here today, okay? So you have this framework, but the most important piece is I'm going to give you kind of a couple different things is number one, making sure your new follower message works really well, okay? So we want to make sure that the free value that you're giving them, that congruent value that I talked about is really good, okay? Now, if you don't have it created yet, that's totally okay. You can still message these people being like, hey, like, thanks for the follow. My name is Natasha or whatever it is. I'm creating this new resource on X, Y, and Z. Would you find that useful? And if people say yes, you can be like, awesome. I'm just finishing the finishing touches on it over the next couple of days, and then I'll send it your way. Like, if you don't have it, you can still send the messages. Don't not send the messages, okay? So that's the first thing that's really important. The second thing is you need to make sure a couple things are true before you offer someone a call, okay? Because, I mean, here's the truth. Is everyone on social media an ideal client? No. And even though these followers are going to be fairly targeted when they come follow your account, we actually want to make sure that these people are the right fit. So before you go ahead and offer a call, I'm going to give you a checklist of the things that you need to have checked off for you to actually offer a call, okay? So I want you to be writing these things down, but this is the kind of checklist. So number one, we want to make sure that we've given them one or two, we call them value pieces, okay? So freebies. So you want to make sure that you've given them one or two value pieces straight off the gate because you need to give more before you ask, okay? So make sure you're giving value. That's the first thing before you offer a call. The second thing is you need to understand their goals and why they are struggling to hit it, okay? This is absolutely critical. If you do not understand where someone wants to go, what's holding them back from getting there, you can't sell them anything. So you need to understand their goals and struggles. So you need to ask questions that elicit that information, okay? Now, the third thing you need before is you need that they are saying that they are looking for support or they're looking for a strategy. So you need to basically, like, we call it commitment testing, right? Commitment testing. You need to do commitment testing to see if they're actually committed to this. Because a lot of people will just like try to book a call, but this person hasn't said, I want to like get help or I'm looking to get some support. And so we want to test out to make sure they're even looking for support. Because if they're not, they're probably not worth your time at this point, okay? So we're giving them value pieces. We know their goals and struggles. We've commitment tested things. And if all of those things are good and true, fantastic. Then you can go ahead and offer a call, okay? If those things are not true, you don't want to offer a call because they're probably not going to be an ideal client of yours, okay? Does this all make sense? Comment down below, yes. If this makes sense, folks, I want to make sure that this is absolutely crystal clear. Jeff and Alex says it makes sense. Michelle says it makes sense. Awesome, folks. Awesome. So here's what I want you to do. So number one, if you haven't watched day one training yesterday, or if you watch and you haven't boosted a post yet, please go do that. Because like I mentioned yesterday, there is no point to watching videos like this if we don't implement, okay? At the end of the day, then it's just information that isn't providing an impact in the real world. So make sure you have a post that is actually boosted. If you need the replay, it's posted in the school community, it's posted on YouTube. You can go find it. Now, the second thing I want you to do is make sure that you have or you are creating some type of freebie that goes alongside with your boosted post. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a guide, it doesn't have to be a video, but just create something, okay? Create something and make sure that when you're naming it, you use the same words that are on the boosted post, okay? Because here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to say, I'm going to use you as an example. You don't want to say in your boosted post, back pain, and then in the value piece be like, I help you with your macros. Like there might be some people who have back pain who want help with their macros, but there's 100% of people with back pain that want to get rid of back pain. Okay, so you want to, and this is why I said yesterday again and again and again and again, be specific on the boosted post, because I knew where we were going today, and this is why it's so important. Number one, it's going to get you more followers in the first place if you're more specific. But number two, the rest of the strategy works well when you are specific, okay? So this is the second thing I want you folks to do, is to make sure that you are crafting some type of freebie that is related to the words on your boosted post. Then, guess what, folks? It's time to have conversations with people. And guess what? A lot of you are going to be like, oh, I feel like it's awkward having conversations with people. And guess what? It is. And here's why it is. For a lot of you, you've lived life with having conversations with people who are peers, colleagues, friends, family, etc. The conversations you're going to have with people here on social media, you actually have to be a leader. And some of you might not be familiar with that type of conversation yet, but you need to actually lead these conversations in you being the authority and them being basically like a prospect or a potential client. And I want you to go in there with confidence, because these people are coming to you because of your value. But if you go into these conversations as just like a buddy, you immediately will lose the ability to sell them on something. And I don't want that for you folks. So we have to come in with confidence and leadership in these conversations. So I tell a lot of people to treat it like and some people don't like doctors, I get that. But a lot of the time I'm like, do the doctor frame of, if you go to the doctor, they're going to come and they're going to ask questions. Okay, like, how are you feeling about this? What's holding you back here? What do you want to make sure happens here? Like, ask a lot of questions, but basically you're trying to get all the information to know whether I should offer my program to this person or not, right? That's your goal here. Our goal here is to not become necessarily friends with people. Your goal is here to lead, okay? Does that make sense? Let's actually comment down below leadership if this makes sense, because leadership conversations are new to some people, and that's okay. Okay, leadership, awesome. The value piece should be a bite-sized, correct. Give them a quick win. Very small, digestible piece. The truth is, some people are not going to read a 20-page PDF or watch like a 2-hour-long training. Like, most of the stuff that we want to get people is like a 3-page PDF or like a 10-minute video, like something short and sweet. Gives them a small win is exactly what we're looking for, okay? So we want to use the kind of like messaging framework that I gave you folks. It's just a framework where we're not giving you a word for word like we do when we work with our clients. We actually have them personalize the message, and like we kind of craft it a lot more. But for you folks, I'm giving you a framework, okay? You still got a framework to go off of here. Here's what I want you to do. Get people, number one. Okay, so here are the goals by tomorrow, because this 3-day challenge, my whole goal was to get you followers, leads, and sales calls. That's my whole goal here, okay? So I want to get you those 3 things in this challenge. That's my goal here. So number one, you've been getting followers, okay? Now, if you haven't boosted a post, please go boost a post, okay? You'll love it. Number 2, we want to turn these people into leads. What needs to happen for us to turn these people into leads? Someone becomes a lead when they grab a freebie and they're in conversation with you, okay? So today, your main goal is to get people basically to message these people and to get them to say, yes, I want that. And then for you to start having a conversation with them. Now, for the next 24 hours only, I do not do this on the normal. If you're having conversations with a lead and you need some help, you can screenshot your conversations and send them to me on Instagram, okay? This is not something that I'm going to be doing outside of this 3-day event because I'm basically giving you some free coaching here just to literally show you that our stuff works incredibly well. So you're going to have conversations with these people. Now, if you're having a great conversation and you've hit all the checklists, you know their goals and struggles, they fit your ideal client criteria, you've given them value pieces, they're saying that they're looking for support, offer them a call. If you do this correctly, there are some of you here today who by the time we jump on day 3 training tomorrow, by the time we jump on that call, you could have booked some own discovery calls of your own, which is kind of crazy. But guess what? It's only going to happen if you do the strategy and you follow it correctly. Okay, so we want to make sure that not only are we doing it, but we're doing it right. Okay, both need to be true. So who is going to, after this, go start to actually message these new followers and make this happen? Comment down below, me, if that is you, because I know that some of you are already getting new followers, right? A lot of, like, some of you have told me that you've gotten 10, 20, 30 followers from yesterday. Like that's amazing. Like I'm really, really proud of you folks for actually implementing. So now it's time to get superhuman, to give people value, and then to have a conversation with them, okay? Be superhuman here, okay? You can use voice notes, you can send a video, just be human with it, okay? Don't come across like a robot because that turns people away, okay? So this is day number 2. Tomorrow, we're gonna be talking about some sales stuff. Okay, we're going to be talking about some sales stuff tomorrow, and that's why I want you to make sure that the followers are coming in. You're turning these people into leads, because tomorrow we're going the next step. How do you now turn a hot lead who's maybe on even a book to call with you? How do we turn them into a client? We're going to be talking about some sales psychology stuff, some really important pieces here, okay? By the way, who can make it tomorrow? Comment down below, yes, if you can make it tomorrow. Tomorrow it's going to be, again, at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And I want to make sure that you folks are following this, because here's the truth. I'm a broken record. If you don't follow this process the way that it's laid out, in the sequence that it's laid out, it's not going to work for you. Okay, there's a reason why when clients join our program, they get incredible results with this stuff, because we walk them through, okay, do this now, then this, then this, then this. We have a sequence. And if you start to shuffle the sequence and do it in the wrong order, it doesn't work. I had someone message me, it was like yesterday, basically being like, hey, I tried your free strategy that you said in this video, but it didn't work. And I was like, did you do it in the right sequence? And they did it in the complete backward sequence. I'm like, of course it doesn't work. It's kind of like if I was trying to train for a marathon, and instead of doing week 1 training today, I did like the race week training the first week, I would blow up and get injured. It doesn't work that way. You have to follow the sequence, okay? Anyways, I'm passionate, folks. I'm in a passionate mood here today. So here's what I want you to do. Go ahead, start sending out messages. You are allowed to message me on Instagram, and I can help you through some conversations today only, okay? I'm not offering this after that, because this is basically, I'm just teaching you how to get clients, okay? Which I'm really happy about, but just here for today. So we'll see you on tomorrow's training. If you have any questions, throw them over to me on Instagram. And it's really awesome having you folks here today. Now let's have a bit of a Q&A before we dive up for the day. Who has some questions about this that they would like to have answered here today? Is there any questions that I can help any of you folks with? Let's make sure that we get all your questions answered, folks. Any questions? No questions? If we got no questions, that's totally fine. By the way, have all of you, let's do this. I want to make sure that this is actually working for you folks. Hey, you're welcome, Natasha. How many of you watched day 1? Comment down below 1 if you watched day 1. And then number 2, how many of you have a boosted post up? If you do have a boosted post, comment down number 2. Do I pick my largest program to pitch on the call? Absolutely, Michelle. That's the only program we should be thinking about. So Blake, you watched number 1. Awesome, folks. Bill Joe watched number 1. So you watched the trainings yesterday. Let's make sure we're implementing it, because what often happens is in these 3-day events, people fall a little bit behind. But then all of a sudden, like, they don't do the strategies, and then they are like, well, I'm not getting any results. Well, yeah, we didn't do the strategies. I want to make sure we're actually getting you folks results. So anyways, okay, we got a couple of people who watched yesterday. That sounds good. Let's make sure to implement. Let's make sure that you're actually getting new followers so that you can practice this next piece, which is turning these people into real paying clients. Okay, folks? That's all the time we have for today. If you have any other questions, please do ping me over on Instagram. And I'd really love to make sure that this is working for you folks. So reach out to me with any questions you have. Like I said, people implemented yesterday, they got followers. So if you implement today, guess what's going to happen? You're going to probably get into some conversations. You're going to get out some freebies. You're going to maybe even get to the place of offering a call. So follow through, and you'll see the wins yourself. So anyways, folks, I'm going to run. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time to finish up this 3-day event. Let's go strong. This is the time where some people decide to just, maybe I'm not going to do this. But if your dream of building your business is big enough, I just plead with you. Work on this and make it happen. So we'll be seeing you folks tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll chat soon. Bye for now, folks. We'll see you soon.